All right, so what I'm going to show you is the speed grader side of discussion. So when you're the facilitator, what it looks like when you grade. And I figure it's okay to do this with discussions because y'all can see everybody's discussion anyhow. So I can't really do it with other assignments because, you know, they just come straight in. So here's a discussion. So it shows, this is the one that Bridget made her first post. And then it's early, this is week 3. So it's early in the week and she hasn't done her replies yet because it's, so actually let me go to the other one, but you can see the difference. If you make one post, it's going to show the one post. And then if we go,
if this is our class, you can use me as an example.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at the, I'm going to go through and show you how it looks across the speed grader anyway. So let me see if I can find it. Here it is. This is unit 2. Thanks, Danny. Okay. So, so here you have the initial post and then you have the replies. And then if the person just kept replying to people, which is great, then you just see them lined up, but you only see the posts from that person. So
right,
out of context, but if your goal is to figure out if they did their one post, is it sufficient, you know, and did they do their replies and they're not like, yeah, me too, then you can grade them. And if you've never seen them graded with a rubric, if you create a rubric for your discussions and your assignments, when you're in this screen, this is the speed grader, you just click view rubric. And then you just click the rating that corresponds to how you feel about it.
and it keeps the tally, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can, I'm going to pull this over here. See it down here, it says 24 out of 24. But it was kind of an okay prompt and then no replies. It tallies it different. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah, so, the video was good to show that because it had a really complicated rubric and they were clicking on all kinds of different things on that one.
Oh yeah, some of them are super cool. Like I saw one, I had a student that did one, it was for a final paper. It was like 8 by 6 or something. It was insane. But really, if you think about it, if you're super specific in your rubric,
it makes grading easier.
A ton of comments either. Because your rubric is very, you know, says what's missing. You could see right away if you do it topic by topic.
Right.
Ours in here really lend themselves to that because it's not a super complicated class. But if you have a big, huge, I mean, just think of some of the things you may have in your class for like a final project, final paper. And then you just click these and click save and it's done. And it gives you an option to make individual comments on the rubric. I never do that. I just make my comments down here.
I think that's the one that I did for the quizzes.
Yeah, but you can make them specific if it was like, this is why you missed this one, and this is why you missed that one.
Okay.
I just put it all down here because I don't write a whole lot. And because our rubrics aren't that complicated. And then you just click this arrow and it takes you to the next person. Now this person never logged into our class. So it just says they don't have it. And so you can give them a 0, you can do whatever. I just skip it. There's yours, Deborah. And then you can see,
oh yeah, I see it.
You can see the main post.
Right.
You can see the other 2.
Right.
So I can read them here. I can read them on the other one. I could do the grade. I could do the comments. And then you just go to the next person.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Kind of how discussions. It's way easier to grade discussions than I thought it would be. You know, because
okay, there we go.
Reading the entire thread, it's really hard to figure out who did their appropriate replies. You know, it would be easy to figure out who posted once. You know, so this makes it much easier for grading on that one.
Okay.
Deborah, did you have any specific questions?
I do. I'd like to know how you got, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd like to know how you was able to put the syllabus in a file preview mode.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's one question. And then
Okay.
I also wanted to know how you could delete files in bulk. Is there a way to do that?
You can't.
Okay.
Well, look, but I think that you have to do one at a time. I'm trying to think. I know this has come up before, and there was one where you could and one where you couldn't. Okay. Maybe it's the modules you can't delete in bulk. So this has a file preview, but when you're in edit, I'm not sharing, am I? Hang on. Come on.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Oh, yeah.
No.
It's just me. Like I have never done this before. Okay, so here's my syllabus page. And here you see the file preview. So when you're in edit mode, and I have added my files, they're over here on the right, or just a tip, if your screen is small, they're down on the bottom, all the way at the bottom, down here. But if your screen is rectangular, then they come over on the side. So then if I want to put in my Intro to Canvas course guide, I just find it. Here's mine right here, where the arrow is. And then I click that and it puts it right here. Now, it'll just give it the name that it has over there. On here, it would say Intro to Canvas _ course guide _ Drumm u17bu.pdf. And so then I just put my cursor in it and I click this link here. See the link bar? I don't want to remove the link. I want to look at this one. Okay. So here, see this auto open the inline preview? Do you see that, Deborah? Can you see it, Danny? Okay.
Yeah, I see where you're pointing.
Okay, I can see you nodding. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, I have a fan on, so I don't want the going on my mic.
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there I am.
Can you see it? Can you see this button where it says auto open the inline preview?
Yes, I do.
If you, so once you've got your file in there from your file guide, then you just click this link button.
Okay.
Here, and it gives you this option to kind of make some adjustments.
Okay.
If you click auto open the inline preview, that's how come you can see the inline preview on that document.
Got it.
If you disable, if you unclick that, they can still do it. It just doesn't come out automatically. Unless
Okay.
you
Okay.
disable it, and then I don't think they even have the option.
Okay.
And then that's how they see it here in this preview.
Oh, great.
And then they can just put it away if they want.
Okay.
If you don't check that, then they just get this where they have to click it.
Okay.
But if they've not taken a course in Canvas before, they may not know what that symbol means. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you always want to tell them, and then and like when you hover over it, it says preview the document. So you can see a little bit. But
Yep, I see it.
you always want to keep in mind, just like if this is the first time you've ever taken a class in Canvas, your students are going to be the same way.
Right.
So you're always going to have some students that are just new to college, or they're new to your college, or they're new to online learning, or they've taken an online class in Blackboard and they're new to Canvas. So you always want to try to tell them as much as possible when it comes to all the different things you want them to do, because they may not be familiar with all the different things. So
Okay.
I was talking, I met with someone not in the Klatch, we were talking about the homepage. We use a content page for ours. And if you make a content page and it has no links on it, It doesn't tell them to start here. It doesn't go to any of the units. There's also no next button on the home page. Even if it's a page that's normally in your module, there's no
Right.
next button. So you got to tell them something.
Right.
If it's click on the modules over there on the left, or something, you know, you have to tell them something, because you're going to have students that are like, oh yeah, I just click on the modules and then I started, you know, and then you're going to have some that, I mean, what is a module really?
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
if you didn't know, I mean, it doesn't say chapters, it doesn't say table of contents, you know? So if you didn't know what a module was, and so a lot of our students that struggle when they get into an online course are high risk anyway. You know, they can be new to college, they could have learning disabilities, they could be English language learners, they could, any of those things. And so we don't want to make the class any harder for them than it is. So one of the terms we use when we design our courses is cognitive load. So that's how overwhelmed your brain is. So for our students, we expect the overwhelm to come a little bit from the content, right? We're teaching
Right.
English, science, art, whatever. And so we expect them to be a little overloaded. But if they're frazzled by the software, they're never going to get to your content, because
Right.
they're just going to shut down. So
I have a couple of questions on this page.
yeah, absolutely.
I apologize. I came in late. I just dashed in from the gym, and so I apologize. This to-do list on the right side, is that automatically generated?
Yes, it is.
And then the list the notifications that students get, like we've been getting saying something has been graded, is that also automatically generated?
Kind of.
Okay.
One of the things you may want to consider in your course is adding a page about notifications. So we talk about it a little bit in our start unit, but you can set up the notifications. You click on your account, you click on notifications, and then it comes up with this big long list. This is pretty much everything they could possibly send you a notification about.
Okay.
And then you can choose, you as a facilitator or the student, same thing. It tells you what all these things mean. So do you want to be notified right away? I mean, if there's an announcement, I want to be notified right away.
Okay.
Because those things are a big deal. So then some of them I get a weekly summary, some I get a daily summary. But let's see here.
So each student gets to choose this, how they want to be notified. Is that right?
They do. And I added a second email address on here, so I get notified at both email addresses. This is actually the first time I've looked at notifications, added the second email address, because it didn't occur to me that they would be different. I just thought they would be the same. So you could customize it to the one email address that they use all the time, or that you as a to use all the time, or the students, you know, because students just don't check their student email like they should.
Right.
That's why I think a lot of them just don't check their email. But,
Right.
you know, it's worse with their student email, because it's like another email, and then, you know, they're 20 and they don't check their email anyhow. So, you know, I check mine multiple times a day, and I have like, so email addresses. But this is where they can change the notifications and where you can. One of the things as a teacher and as a student, really, that you want to be in your notifications, let me find it, is submission comments right here. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why you want that one is because there's a lot of conversation that happens in the submission comment. You're always going to get notifications then for some that are like, I didn't need to know that. Like, done. You're always going to have a student that does that. They comment every time they turn something and they say done. Here it is, something like that. And so you realize when they come into your email, which are, it'll say exactly what they said. And so then you can say, okay, I needed to know that, I need to go grade it, or I didn't need to know that right now, so I'm all right.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay. On discussions, when you create those, if you don't check the box that says peer reviews, does that mean students will not be able to do a reply to another post?
No, a peer review is different. And
okay.
I'll be honest, I don't exactly know how it's used in discussions.
So I don't have to check that to allow for replies?
No.
Oh.
In an assignment, a peer review will be, in an assignment, when you do peer review, say the assignment's due on Saturday, and then you have the peer reviews assigned on Sunday. If you set it up to automatically assign the peer reviews, come Sunday, the computer will assign them to people, and they'll show their to-do list to grade. So it's great if you're having them do a first draft of a paper.
Right.
We use it in our 12-week class when we talk about course policies. And then we have the other, their other participants in the class look at their policies and give their feedback. So that's one way that you can do it. And it assigns it by itself.
Okay.
As long as the students turn their assignment in on time. So if anybody turns their assignment in late, they don't get assigned a peer review. They don't get assigned anything to peer review. And then once they turn their work in late, it doesn't automatically assign them, you know what I mean? Their paper.
Yes.
So you have to get in there and just check it.
Okay.
And so when you have an assignment that has a peer review, when you're in the assignment, let me see if I can show you what that looks like. I got to remember which assignment it is. It's class. I think it's this one. Okay. Over here on the right, this one's assigned for peer review. So they turn it in, and then you click peer reviews.
Oh, I see.
Every student, who they were assigned to peer review. If they finished the peer review, they get a check mark. If they did not fulfill all the requirements of the peer review, they get this exclamation point. But if for some reason, like somebody turned it in late, you'd see it here, that they didn't have anybody assigned to them.
I see.
And then you can see where you have students that totally dropped the ball and did not review at all. Happens. We'll just forget. And some of them, it'll give this exclamation point, and they did the peer review, but they left a comment and didn't fill out the rubric, or they filled out the rubric and didn't leave a comment. It only considers it complete if they did both of those things.
Okay.
So that's how the peer review works on an assignment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a little different, but it definitely serves a purpose.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so one of the things that's advantageous about peer review is that when you review the work of other students, you also, in effect, review yourself because you think, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, hey, maybe I should do that. It's a lot better than mine. Maybe I should step mine up a little bit.
Yeah, I see that.
And that self-reflection is really good also.
Okay.
The way that you can give them self-reflection without actually calling it that. Did you have any other questions, Deborah?
I had two others, but I didn't. I don't have them sitting on top of my desk, so I'm trying to remember them as we speak. They'll come
Okay.
to me.
Okay, I'll jump in on one that I
Yep.
just came up with.
Okay, Danny.
I'm looking at my sandbox, and on the navigation page, and we go into settings, and to figure out what tabs we want on the side for the navigation,
Yes.
we can't add our own custom ones there, can we? We can only move around and make available the ones that Canvas has.
Correct.
Okay.
There is a way to make a, I forgot what it's even called right now. It's called like a redirect. The problem is we don't like to talk to you guys about how to do it because some colleges don't allow it.
Oh.
So, and I don't think you can do it in the sandbox. So you have to talk to your Canvas admin at your school.
If we want, okay. And what about in that same, in the settings, what's the sections? It's sections for that same course, okay.
Oh yeah, so say
I just try to make a test one and I don't know what I did with it.
two sections of the same course, but I don't think it's set up in here. You know what I mean? Like, because see how it only has one and I'm teaching two. So I think that it wasn't set up this way, but it's a way that your college could set it up when they assign your course.
Oh, that might be annoying. Okay.
So, yeah, and it's something you want to talk to them about. And always, you can always look in the Canvas community. And if you think that the way you think it could be done is better, then you can always talk to your.
Do they do it as sections or do they do it as like the dashboard cards? Do you know what I mean?
On mine, I have it's basically like two separate courses.
Even though it's the same course?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's kind of what I'll have to check to see how we're going to do that.
In some ways, it's better because your students are separated and everything like that.
Yeah.
If you make an announcement in one, you got to go and make the announcement in the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then some announcements might only be relevant for one of the sections.
That too. And since we don't do it this way, I'm not positive, but there may be, if you have multiple sections, maybe there's a choice when you create new things, only assign it to one section. Because you can do that with assignments. You can assign it to like one person or one group. So if it acts like a group, then you would be able to assign it to just one section.
Yeah.
But I would have to look it up in the Canvas community because I'm not sure.
I'll check with our, we've got some flex workshops coming up that first week of the semester.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to be doing some Canvas ones, so I'll jump in on those and give him these questions. What are we doing? And are we doing chat?
Oh, you are doing, are you doing chat?
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing it, so yeah.
So, do we talk about it in this course? We do, right?
A little bit. You just kind of mentioned it was available.
We had it in the self-paced one, and so they just made a change that I actually do not think I went in and changed, because I went in and changed it on the self-paced one, and it says in there that you cannot delete the history, but they changed it. Now you can delete the history.
Oh yeah, you did mention that before in one of the other Klatches.
Yeah, so it used to be like, it's like instant messenger or like messenger in Facebook, it's live, but you used to not be able to delete it. So somebody a week ago could have gone in there and had a conversation with another student that was completely inappropriate. And it was when someone else went in. It was almost like writing on the bathroom wall.
So on your screen share right here, you have the You Do It accessibility. So that would have been one of those redirect
That
units
is
that was
something
done.
that our school like that one has on their instance of Canvas.
Okay.
So you may find, there's a few things you're going to find. You may find that yours has an accessibility checker, or that they have, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones I've seen out there.
Well, like the chat is another one. Either your
Right.
campus
If
is
your
going to have
school
one.
doesn't have it, you won't see it. You won't even see it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, what else was I going to say? So then there's also some things, I'm trying to think of what I tried to do one time. I think there's some schools that don't allow you to change your image on the card. And then I think there's some where you can't enable different grading schemes, like it's just the one. There's different things that the colleges can customize. I'm not on that end of it, on the like admin side of it, so I don't see that part.
Okay.
One of the things I noticed earlier, someone had, I think they dragged their modules down here, and then, oops, that was syllabus, but they dragged their modules, and then I couldn't see it. It said it was disabled.
Oh, I hope that wasn't me.
Disabled.
Oh, no, mine's there.
So yeah, it wasn't, somebody else. And so I don't know if that's what they did. I like to keep files, pages, and assignments hidden because it's not as much of a big deal with faculty, but students will go in and they'll be like, oh, I just want to do the assignments, and then they'll never do the content. And then if you put in files, I don't know if you've looked, I'll show you what the files look like on this end. If all you did was open the files, it's meaningless. There's no, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah, that's confusing to a student.
It doesn't mean anything. So it's better that they just can't even get there. Pages is the same because it's all sorted by title of the page, which in one of our courses, the other one I was showing you, we title all our pages like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3.
So it stayed in order, yeah.
Yeah, and we do it so that as students are working through the modules, they could just make a note of where they left off and just go right back to it. It's really easy. But here, it's not like that. And I mean, how would you know?
Yeah.
So there's no reason for them to have access to the page. It's just confusing to them. When I was at Imperial Valley a couple months ago, I was down there doing a training, and they didn't let their faculty use the syllabus.
That seems odd.
They didn't like this course summary at the bottom.
With the assignments? Oh my
Yep.
God, I thought that was the best part.
And so when we met with them and we talked to them when we went for the training, and we're like, look, this is why it's a good idea. How many times when you taught a face-to-face course did you create that nice long grid, right, at the end of your syllabus?
Mm-hmm.
That was like 2 pages with assignment and everything and every due date. And then halfway through the semester, you have to reprint it because it's not valid anymore. Because you had to move stuff or take stuff out or change dates. And so here, right, when you change the due date of an assignment, it's going to change here. So they didn't like either that I think that everything was listed and students could just click on it and it would take them directly to the assignment.
I can see
But
that.
I believe if your assignment's locked, they still can't get to it even if it's on there.
What did you just say about that? If your assignments are locked?
if the assignment's locked
Mm-hmm.
and they try to click on it from the calendar, they could see it. They could see the date and the due date, but I'm fairly certain they can't get to the assignment.
That's good.
I can't try it in this class because all of our stuff's open.
I think I can try it on because I have our class open. I could see.
But all of our stuff's open. Like none of it's locked.
The discussion still is locked for week 4.
Oh, is it? Is that why
Yeah.
the way you couldn't do it?
I would if it was up. I had time, so I just did it.
Hey, whatever works. You never know when you're not going to have the time.
So can I ask another question now?
Of course you can.
I was trying yesterday to just copy some content pages from one Canvas course to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, and when I went to copy, it only allowed me to copy the entire course, and then I was in a do loop. I could never get out of that thing. Couldn't I just copy just the content pages?
They have,
Yeah, it's still locked.
let me see. Go into, when you download it, it only lets you download the quizzes or the everything.
Right. I saw that.
Import it, it has a choice. It says, do you want to import everything or just specific content?
So when you export, you must export the entire course or the maybe. And
Yeah,
do you have to
here
choose
it
that
says
export
select
package?
specific content.
Okay, on the export though, do you have to? Which do you choose? Do you choose the export package or do you choose Canvas course?
On the import or on the export?
On the export.
When I export, I just tell it to export the course, so it's the whole thing.
Okay.
And then I click it, and then it creates my document that I save to my computer,
Okay.
which you cannot open outside of Canvas. Everybody's like, I couldn't open it. It's a bad
Right.
file. It's like, well, no, you need Canvas to run it. So the .imscc, you can't open it outside of, except for when you import it.
Okay.
And then when you import, you're not copying a course. I mean, you can, but that's
Yeah.
when you haven't exported it. That's like when you're going to teach it again,
Okay.
same class. You just click the Canvas export package and then select the content you want. You have to choose the file. I don't have one on here. This computer, I have nothing on here. It's too new. I was telling Danny I just got it last week, so still trying to figure it out.
Okay. Export all, import select.
Yeah. And then you want to know about deleting the files, huh?
I wanted to delete them in bulk. I also wanted to move them in bulk. So I wasn't smart enough in the very beginning to create folders. And then I got, I realized you should create folders, Deborah. And so then I had all these files and I wanted to move them into the folders. But I didn't know how to I couldn't see how to do that in bulk. Like more than one at a time even.
Right.
Oh.
All right, so on the files here, I can hold down, are you on a Mac or a PC, Deborah?
I'm on a PC right now.
Okay, so I can hold down the scroll button and I can click on multiple ones. See how the blue line is coming up here on the side? And then it says 6 items selected and I could just trash them.
Oh.
Or download them or publish or unpublish them. It says move, but I don't know if I could do that. What would happen?
Oh.
To move.
Yeah.
Oh, I can move them to a different one of these files over here on the left.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Does that help?
You. Yep.
So,
perfect.
but when I clicked on the name, it tried to open it. So
right
over here where the date's at.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I mean, I think once you've clicked on one, no, it still wants to open it. Click over here where the date's at.
Okay.
And then it doesn't try to open it.
Okay.
I never do that, but I can see where that could be useful.
So I have kind of an administrative question. So when the semester starts and we have our Canvas up and published, and students are automatically added to the class, they get this invitation to join, right? Is that how it works? Or do they
Yes.
automatically, so if they don't respond to that invitation, they will not see the course? They must respond to that invite?
When I'm added to the course,
Mm-hmm.
I have to accept it. But when you guys were added to the course, you didn't have to accept it, did you? I don't think so. I think you just log in, because the reason why I think that is because I have students that have never logged in, but I have other classes where I've invited someone from the people part. You can do that in your sandbox. Invited someone and they never accepted, and it says pending. And in this class, it never says that. And I have students that have never gone into the class.
I would think for our classes that there should be a link between our registration systems and the Canvas listing for the students, because I know Blackboard does that as soon as they register for the class, within a couple of hours, I think 3 hours for us, Blackboard updates with they added students. If the student drops the class, they don't automatically get dropped out of Blackboard. Now that's for us. Now I can't see how we would transition to Canvas without at least that automatic enrollment for students that are enrolled in the class.
Yeah, our students are batch enrolled, like with this student information system. You guys are batch enrolled into the class. And then, so I'm 99% sure that they don't have to accept it like it is when you just invite them. Because if we just go in, I can add people to the class, add people. And when I do it, I'm basically inviting them by email address, and then they would receive that invitation. But it's different when it's not done that way by the school and by the administration. It's done through the student information system. Because ours used to be, for At One, it used to be like that you guys received an invitation. And that's why when I sent you the welcome letter, it said that our instructions had changed and that you wouldn't receive an invitation, because we integrated the system, the Canvas system, with the registration system that we were using so that we could batch upload everything.
I think the thing that we did get was the username change, because we were going in as a student versus the setup we already had as instructors for Canvas.
Well, and it's the different instance of Canvas.
Yeah.
That's why we switched it over to that A1 dash, so that it would be different than the one you use at work. So there would be some kind of distinction, because everybody gets confused. Because it's confusing.
So the grade page seems kind of quirky to me. I notice I can go in, and if I click on an icon, I can change a number, it looks like. Is that, you know what I mean?
You could try. I don't think it'll work, though.
No.
I know why it does that. I know why it does it.
Okay.
It has some kind of mode where, I'm never the student, so it's never the same for me, but it has a mode where you can do like hypothetical. So you, as the student, can go in and say, what would happen if I got 100% on all these things? What would my grade be? But it won't save it.
Okay. I said, my goodness, if students can manipulate the grades, what? Okay.
No, I remember them talking about that actually at InstructureCon last year.
Okay.
About that hypothetical grade.
I noticed on the bottom of the taskbar here, I can record this conversation. Is that right?
You can try, but it won't let you because you're not the host.
Okay, so if a student sees that, I'm assuming a student would see this, and a student would not be able to record this conversation.
Correct. Like, you can click it right now, and it should say that you're not the host.
Right. It does say that.
Yep. if I made you the host, which I can do because I'm the host, then you would be able to record.
Okay.
You can also set up your Zoom room to record automatically. And so it starts recording when the first person logs in. So, yeah, when the first person logs in. We have one of our webinars that's set up that way because we had to have them recorded because we had to put them on the website. So the administrator set it up so that they would automatically record so we wouldn't forget.
Do you push your inbox to Outlook or anything, or do you just? It seems like it would be so much.
So my inbox goes to my email because of my notifications, and you can reply from there, but I don't. And you can reply to submission comments from the email also, but I don't because if you do it in a submission comment, it replies like the entire thread, and so then they say okay, but there's it's like this long on the thing because it has everything that you said to them plus reply, and so it just says okay at the bottom. And then on my phone, for some reason, on my phone when I try to reply from Outlook, the Outlook app on my phone to the Canvas messages, inbox messages, they don't go through. I'm not sure why, but I also have the Canvas app on my phone. So if I ever have somebody, I see the message in my email, then I just pop over the app and look at the messages and reply.
Oh, I see.
It's more consistent because I was having people say, well, I didn't get your message. And then, I'd log back into my email like the next morning and realize that it didn't. I get an error that says it didn't go through.
Oh.
So, and I know that you can reply. I think it's my phone, like my phone and the Outlook app and stuff like that. I've done it from my computer before and it works fine, but I don't know. My phone doesn't like it. So I just don't do it like that anymore.
I did try to, going back to a topic you had before, I did try to, from the syllabus page, I clicked on the discussion because the week 4 final discussion is still locked.
Okay.
So I clicked on that and it took me to the assignment, but it did say that it was still locked.
Okay, yeah. And so that's what people they didn't like that you could still go to all the assignments.
Yeah.
But it's still, if you lock it, it's fine.
Yeah, and you can lock it to, so they have to look through the content first, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that one of the options? Yeah.
Prerequisite and requirement.
Yeah.
So I had, this class was set up that way, but I don't like it that way, so I undid it. The reason why is because if somebody comes in late and they need to jump ahead, in this class, it's okay. It's, it doesn't build on itself as much as some might. And so, because some you have to contribute to the discussion before you can get to the next thing. And you have to turn in the assignment, like not just look at it, you have to turn it in. So, so the problem with that is sometimes you'll have a student that misses an assignment. They're not going to do it. They're just going to skip it. And then if it's set up where they can't move forward, they're going to get stuck. Right. I mean, I know it's nice to be like, well, then they should do the assignment. That is true, but you know how it goes.
But they should have the option. I mean, what does the students have a right to fail kind of thing?
You have an option to get a 0,
Yeah.
So, and I'd rather they be able to skip it and I can see that they didn't do it than do a shoddy job and then I have to pretend to look at it and realize they did a shoddy job and then give them a 0. You know what I mean? Or if you just not do it, then pretend you did it and
yeah.
And then I go through try to grade it and it wasn't even really done.
Well, they do that in traditional classes too.
No, I know. Oh yeah, of course.
So I guess we can't ever get away from it.
And I taught a math class one time where all they had to do was the work and then they had the answer sheet. So they just had to write the answers, right? But it was one piece of paper with 100 of those little blanks. And so you had to grade them. So you had to put the thing up next and just like go down. And then we had this one student, well, this didn't just happen once, but they would just fill in anything. And I'm like, now I have to take the time to go through and like see how many you got.
Find the ones that you actually did attempt. And
But if I knew that you were not even trying, then we could have just skipped this whole charade.
yeah.
And in that school, you had to redo it. It was like independent study. So if they did that and then they failed it, they had to redo it anyhow. So it didn't make any sense. So how we doing? Any more questions? Deborah, Danny?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good right now.
Okay. If you ever run into a snag, just message me and we can Zoom anytime. So not
Okay.
anytime, but
I love this Zoom thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
too.
too. I like
Now,
actually like it better than the Google Meetup one.
Yeah.
I've tried
where do
that.
you teach at, Danny?
Santiago Canyon College in Orange,
Okay. Where do you teach at, Deborah?
I'm at Sac City,
Okay.
Sacramento City.
up north.
The California Community College Chancellor's Office has paid for, subsidized, allowed, I don't know what it's called, a pro account for every California Community College staff and faculty. So you just go to conferzoom.org and you just create an account using your EDU email address. And then you can get your own account. It's super fun.
Yeah,
What
so
did I
did
push?
sign up, but do you know? Oh, I guess does it automatically? How can you tell if you've got the pro or not? It's just that you're able to get the account.
Well, I'll show you where it's at. No, because it'll still let you. So you go right here to profile. It was also over here on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And then right here, it says user type pro. Otherwise, it'll say basic.
Okay, let me see.
And
I got
if,
it.
did you find it already?
Yeah, I guess I'm already in there. That's awesome.
Do you have the pro one?
Yeah.
If you don't, but you're signed in with your .edu email address, you have to contact them.
Oh, okay.
Because if you go to zoom.us and make one, you don't get the pro one. So it's at Confer Zoom that it's subsidized. It says down here by a grant. Right here, this is a service for the administrator, staff, and faculty of the California Community College System, funded by a grant from the Chancellor's Office.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I did like this because it was an easy way to have office hours, and in case students can't get to office hours, they can still log on and have the conversation with you. So, and then having that same login number for the entire course, or for like just say for office hours, this is our login for the office hours, to just
Right.
click on that.
And you can put it on the homepage too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
These are my office hours. Click
Here's
here.
the Zoom account. Yeah.
You know, and
Zoom number.
it's really easy. I had one of the students in one of our classes. I said, text me and we'll meet via Zoom. He's like, well, I've never used Zoom. I'm not tech savvy. I can't come into the meeting. And I was like, I'll just have to do some research. And so I told him, I said, well, I can't meet right now because I'm shopping with my daughter, but click on the one in the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get in, because the first time you do it, you have to download the executable file.
Right.
And then, so I said, do that. And if you can get in there all by yourself, I won't be there. I said, it works. And so he texts me back. He's like, I got it. So then later, like the next day, we met, and then he already knew that he could. So,
right.
You know, it's super easy because the people that are meeting you do not have to have an account.
Oh.
Right. They can just log in with the access number.
All they have to do is click the link.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How
all
long
right,
are
guys.
we gonna have,
What's that?
How long are we going to have access to the @ONE materials?
They say 30 days, but sometimes it's longer because they don't delete it.
Okay.
Minimum 30 days.
Okay, cool.